Hey everybody, it's Bizarre Star or Joe, and today's going to be a little different than my normal videos. For one thing, by the time this comes out, December 3rd, it will be my birthday. So I figured I'd do something kind of special, and I would kind of give y'all a bit of info, or at least I give you some info on on my experience with Star Wars. So with that being said, let's begin. So yeah, first time seeing Star Wars was completely by accident. I had no real experience seeing it prior to my first showing. I had known what it was. I had seen like bits and pieces of Return of the Jedi on television. I vaguely remember seeing Admiral Akbar and wondering what the hell that was, but other than that, I wasn't too familiar with it. It wasn't until maybe I was around 10 or 11, I don't quite remember, but it's when the special editions were in theaters. My sister offered to take me to the movies because she was going to go to the mall where the movie theater was at to go see. She asked me if I wanted to go see a movie, and I said sure, because going to see a movie all by myself was a pretty big thing to me. So I go look on the newspaper and to see what was out, because that's what you used to do back then. And I saw Star Wars, the special editions. I saw commercials for it, but I didn't think anything of it, and I figured, okay, I'll go see that. So long story short, or at least I go and see it, and I was pretty blown away. It was pretty amazing. Just honest, but what probably got me the most out of all of it, first time seeing it, was the Battle of Yavin. You know, the big old, the trench run, just, you know, the TIEs and the TIE fighter and the X-Wings just flying in there, that huge dogfight. That was the biggest, like when I had watched the VHS, and when I'd gotten a hold of those, that is the one thing I would watch all the fucking time. I would have an X-Wing toy, and I would kind of just have fly it around as that scene was going on. And of course, as I got older, I got to appreciate the movies as a lot more as a whole. But that was the one part of that movie that really stuck it with me. I never, unfortunately, got to see I never got to see Empire or Return of the Jedi in theaters. Sadly, I didn't get to see those until long after, when they were on VHS. And my sister's newer boyfriend actually, he brought them over for me to watch. So on Christmas Eve, of all things. So during Christmas Eve, I got to watch Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Probably much to the chagrin of my mom, because we were supposed to go to church for Christmas Eve, midnight mass. I was raised Catholic. She never said anything about it. I think she probably wasn't too happy about it, though. But needless to say, yeah, I fucking loved Empire. I liked Jedi. Jedi I didn't like too much, actually. I'll be honest. I don't know why. I love it now. Maybe because I saw both of them or something, and I was just so young, and I was like, I just wanted to go to bed or whatever the hell. But I don't know. That one didn't resonate with me as much. I do like it. It just doesn't come off as my favorite, sadly. A lot of, but like I said, great movie. In terms of my favorite, I don't know. I'm trying to think about that. That's a hard one for me to really honestly say, because sometimes there are times I just absolutely will say A New Hope is my favorite. Even as I got older, the writing, everything just kind of, from a writing standpoint, it's very well done. But also, I mean, so is Empire. From a good standpoint, it's a big part of it's a really big part of character development when it comes to everybody in there. Luke obviously having a training, kind of showing a bit of flashes of Anakin, you know, very, very impatient, going against Yoda and Obi-Wan to go and save Luke and Leia from Vader. Obviously the big reveal that that Vader is his father. Han being stuck in carbonite. It's all just such a great fucking such a good movie. But also, like I said, A New Hope is also really good too. Just when I went back to that and watched it, basically now with like fucking The Force Awakens and shit. And like how well done this was, even seeing as a fucking Force Awakens, which is basically just ripping off this movie or ripping off A New Hope. You kind of see just how well done it was made, and you can probably tell. Yeah, I don't like the sequels. I don't think they're very well written. It's kind of a shame because it has a very solid cast, but the writing is horrendously done. Honestly, I could go on and say what's wrong with it, but everyone's already said talking points about Rey not being a well-written character. Obviously, she doesn't have any real struggles. Pretty much every other supporting character almost seems completely underutilized. Finn is like one of the biggest fucking disappointments in there. Such a fucking cop-out they fucking did with him. They did him dirty. At least, even the fucking actor, even John Boyega basically kind of admits it. Poe Dameron, who a character I was hoping to be like one of my favorites, fucking given absolutely dick. Ugh, that still kind of pisses me off. And yeah, I know he was like supposed to die in the original cut. Originally, he was supposed to die because until like Oscar Isaac convinced J.J. Abrams to put him in there. A better writer could have found a way for them to make him more interesting and shit. Which is so irritating the way he was fucking portrayed. But they kind of just sort of didn't really answer what the hell happened to him. Like in the beginning of Force Awakens when he quote unquote died, and he just kind of shows up. I think they kind of explained it, but it was like very offhanded. Ugh. It's sloppy. The movie is a fucking sloppy mess, and the same could even be as obviously said about The Last Jedi. Such a fucking lack of disrespect for fucking fans when it comes to that one, The Last Jedi. Just look at Rian Johnson's Twitter and how much of a disregard he tries to slink away from anyone giving him any criticism to that fucking movie. It's pretty obvious he doesn't understand the fucking movies. I mean, I could have told you that. Then again, these whole movies as a whole, basically had no fucking vision. There was no coherent. There was no coherent thought or any idea or blueprints. You can say what you want about the prequels, but at least there was some heart to it. At least you can kind of tell that Lucas had a fucking idea. He kind of knew where he was going to go, albeit it was kind of he got there very sloppily, but he fucking got there. There was no fucking vision. There was no real fucking idea at what to do with anything else here with the fucking sequel. They essentially just passed the ball to every director and said go with it. And that's not really what you should be doing with something like Star Wars, at least not this way. You have to have a fucking vision. You have to know where you're going to go. You have to know where your end game is. And they apparently didn't care. It was pretty obvious they didn't care. They just saw money. They had to make something out of it, and yeah, it's a goddamn mess. And it's probably why I can't really get into these movies or into the games themselves, because they all lead to that, to that train wreck of a trilogy. Like even the best ones are kind of middling to me. I really did not care for Fallen Order. That game was really fucking buggy. Not to mention, it's really hard to get into them when you know what they lead to. When they lead to those movies and stuff, I just really can't get into them. Even like The Mandalorian or any of these other types of media that even kind of come off as passable, I just can't get into them. They just, like The Mandalorian is just now when the first season wasn't basically just ripping off a bunch of Kurosawa films. Now it's just kind of relying way too much on the fucking on everything else Star Wars. It's like, oh, remember this, remember that, oh, Ahsoka, oh, like Boba Fett, blah blah blah. Not I. On its own, this movie couldn't. The show cannot really stand on its own anymore, and it's becoming very apparent. I kind of wish they would have taken more risk and just done their own thing, but you can barely make an adult anything adult oriented when it comes to Star Wars, because you gotta fucking sell it to kids and shit. As of now, I just don't care about Star Wars. I still love it, but it is really hard for me to get to any of the newer stuff. For me, it's always going to be games like Return, like Shadows of the Empire, which was probably the first real Star Wars game I played. I like many people, I fucking would spend so much time in the first level in the Battle of Hoth. It's absolutely fucking amazing. You just, using the tow cables to take out the AT-ATs. I will call them AT-ATs. I think they call them AT-ATs now, but AT-ATs sounds so much better for me. Probably the first sim I've ever played, or flight sim, was TIE Fighter, and it's still probably one of my favorites. Not my absolute in the X-Wing series. That goes to X-Wing Alliance, but it is the first one I was ever exposed to, and I will play it every now and again. In terms of making Star Wars content for my channel, I guess popularity would dictate I make more of them, because they are my highest rated. The thing is, I don't just want to make Star Wars games, videos on Star Wars games, because I feel like there's only so many of them I could ever make, unless I do a full-on playthrough of each one, which I kind of don't want to do, unless I really, really like it, or maybe if there's like a call for it, or a sort of a demand for it, and I guess I could. But I really like doing my other stuff, like my stuff on horror games, or just any random weird ass game, which I do absolutely love doing, but they don't really get any views, if any at all. So I don't really just be relegated to Star Wars. Another thing is, sadly with YouTube, Star Wars games means Star Wars music, which means I have to either turn it down or turn it way, way low, which is kind of sucks. Star Wars music is a very big part of the series, and because despite me talking over the music, it still gets fucking flagged for copyright, and I pretty much have to make a fight for it every fucking time. By fighting, I mean let them just kind of not do anything with my dispute just gotta wait until the dispute dies out, and then boom, it's fine. Because that's essentially how every single one I've been doing so far has kind of been going. Like, oh, it's alright, basically, oh, okay, the 30 days are up, there you go, we'll take it off, blah blah blah. And that's 30 days I get of nothing happening, of just having that stupid little dispute copyright claim on there. Thank God I'm not looking to get monetized, because that would probably be a massive pain in the ass. But hey, if people demand it, let me know if anyone's listening and watching this stuff. Sorry I'm like really fucking rambling a lot, but it's hard to play and just talk about random shit at the same time. Like I said, I do absolutely love this. My knowledge of Star Wars isn't that high, unfortunately. I'm not like a RJ, any of these other people who have a very, very vast knowledge of the Star Wars expanded universe. My knowledge sadly comes from the video games, from KOTOR, from Jedi Knight and Rogue Squadron and Naboo Fighter and Star Wars Racer. That's kind of where my bread and butter of Star Wars, if anything outside the original trilogy, goes. But hey, I never fucking said I was very knowledgeable of this stuff. I've read like the Heir to the Empire and all the other Thrawn books, but other than that, I'm pretty goddamn my knowledge is pretty fucking slim. I think right, without a doubt though, my favorite Star Wars game is definitely Knights of the Republic, a game I've really thought about playing, not really so much because of the copywriting crap. I don't really give two shits about that, but because I'm pretty sure that would be okay. It's more I do want to play it on PC, which means modding the hell out of it. Man, the first time I got this on PC, I played it on PC, it was like almost playing it for the first time. I actually kind of modded it a little bit. There was just it's like there's like there's this overhaul mod where basically it adds it to where a lot more force powers. The fighting system, actually, you can choose which fighting styles. You can now select fighting styles. You can of which ones you want to learn. So it's like the legit fighting styles. Your stances, like shit, I don't know a lot of. I kind of forgot some of them, but they're in the game. You can actually, it actually changes how your character reacts. Unfortunately, I also had it with some other little fan mod for the game, and it kind of crashed my game where I got to Corbin, and just before you fight Darth Bane, the game would crash. It wouldn't let me select any. It wouldn't let me play, so I couldn't finish the game. Unfortunately, I've been meaning to go back and at least take off I forgot what it's called, Solomon's Revenge or something. I think that was what was messing it up. But yeah, the fact that I couldn't mess with that one, the fact that it wouldn't let me play was kind of annoyed me. Funny enough, though, it's not even the one I played the most of. The one I played the most of was actually the sequel. Not the best game. It was really buggy on the original Xbox, where where I tried to get Beodor to be a Jedi, but for some reason he just would not talk to me. He wouldn't say anything to me. It just kind of only let him be a Jedi when the game felt like it, which is kind of a shame, because I do like that game, especially from a story standpoint. I know there's some people have some really hiccups, some reservations about it, mostly because when it comes to Grey Jedi and Kreia and her morality and whatnot, but I personally liked it from a philosophical standpoint, especially her insight. Sadly, anything you do just seems to piss her off. Unless the only time I got any influence, or I influenced her in any way, was I believe it was like some type of it was like some feuding families or something. I think that was it. I don't quite remember though. But my choice was essentially I was going to have them fight each other and take whichever side wins, and she liked that, but at the cost, I lost influence with the handmaiden because she didn't like that I was doing that. So yeah, as you can see, I'm just kind of dicking around here. I have no idea. I'm more talking than I'm actually playing. So yeah, I don't know if anyone's watching and y'all want to see more Star Wars videos. Let me know. I can definitely try. Currently, I am working on a review for another game, just because I want to try again. Trying to do just various different things with my channel just to see how things work out. So yeah, that was Super Empire Strikes Back. Like I said, this was a little different. I just wanted to. Sorry if this came off really rambly, but it's hard to talk and do this at the same time. But I just wanted to have a little fun, just to put something out there and get to know a little bit about me, at least in my love for this franchise, or my very, very complicated love for this franchise. If you do want to see more Star Wars games, let me know if anyone's watching. I can definitely do them. Again, it's just more if YouTube doesn't want to be a dick, and I don't want to completely oversaturate my channel with just Star Wars games. And I am kind of in the middle of doing an actual full-on review. I want to try that. I just want to try different things on this channel. But with that being said, thank you anyone for watching, and I will see you next time.